In this video, we're going to take a look at the new bakers found in Substance Designer 5.4. So to demonstrate this, we're going to use this cool alien model that was created by Loic. Loic is a tech artist here at Algorithmic. So first, let's take a look at the new transfer maps. So I've baked a normal map here for this mesh, and then here in my 2D view, you can see the UVs that we have for this low-res mesh. Now, let's say that I want to change the UVs, and I want to be able to take this normal map and transfer it to the new mesh. So we can do that now in Substance Designer 5.4. So let's take a look at how this works. So first, I'm going to come over to my new model. Let's just double click to kind of load this here into our view. And just so we can see this a little bit more clearly, let's just set up the environment. I'm just going to come over here to the display component and just turn this off. All right, so let's take our normal. We'll just left click, drag and drop that here into our 3D view and choose normal for the output. So obviously this isn't matching up. And so here you can see the UV layout is completely different. Now we can view the UVs here in our 2D view by coming over here to geometry and choosing display UVs in 2D view. All right, so let's take this existing UV map and let's transfer it to the new mesh. So to do that, we're going to come over here to our new mesh with the updated UVs. We're going to right click and go to Bake Model Information. And so here for the bakers, let's come down to our transferred texture from mesh. Now we can transfer any texture type, but in this case, I just want to demonstrate how the normal works. So for the texture file, let's click this button, and since we've already baked the normal map, let's come over here to From Resource, and let's choose our normal map. So we have this set, we'll click OK. And for the normal map option, we're going to want to set this to true, and the map type here is going to be tangent space, and in my case, the orientation is going to be set to DirectX. Now, for the high definition mesh, we could use, any high definition mesh, but in our case, we just want to transfer this from the original low definition mesh that we have in our project. So here, let's click this button, let's choose From Resource, and I'm just going to choose the previous low-res mesh, and we'll click OK. So now that we have this set up, I'll click OK once more to let Substance Designer bake out this new map. Okay, so Designer has baked out the new map. Let's just double click it here to view it in the 2D view, and you can see that the new map has been transferred to the new UV space. Let's just left click, drag and drop and place this normal map here onto our alien mesh. We'll choose normal input channel, and we have successfully transferred our normal map from one mesh to another. Now let's take a look at the position from mesh bake, as well as some new options for the world space normals baker. So with my low resolution mesh selected, let's right click, Bake Model Information. Now we don't need our normal map anymore, so let's just remove this guy, and let's come over to our bakers, and let's start with our position map from mesh. Now in previous versions of Designer, we had the position baker, which would bake position information, but it would do so from the mesh that you were baking from. So in our case, this would be the low resolution mesh. So now we can choose position map from mesh. And this is going to allow us to utilize our high definition mesh here in the bake. So for this example, let's change the mode here to one axis. Let's set the axis to Y, and notice that the normalization is set to B-sphere by default. This is going to give us a higher quality bake, especially for using the triplanar node in Designer. So now we have our position map for mesh ready. Let's just set up a batch process here. So I'm going to come over to our world space normals and add a version of this baker. Now for the baking type, you can see that it's set to normal by default, which is what we've always had in Designer. So let's switch this here to tangent. So we're going to set up a tangent bake with this. And let's just add another instance of this baker, so world space normals. And for the second instance, we're going to set this one to binormal. So now that we have this set up, let's click OK to let Substance Designer bake our maps. So now Substance Designer has baked our maps. Let's take a look at our position map first. So we'll double click, we'll load this here into the 2D view. I'm also going to view this on my model. So in this case, I'm just going to left click and drag and drop this here onto my model. And for the input box, I'm actually going to just set this here to the input for the base color, just so we can see something here on the 3D view mesh. So here you can see the position information as baked down the y-axis. Here we have our two world space normals. So the first one we know was the tangent, and the second bake was the binormal. So here, let's just drag and drop a copy of this map here. Let's just place it into the base color just so we can view this here on the model itself. So what we're doing with this bake is that we are baking a color to represent the direction of the tangent vector and the binormal vector in world space. An example of how we can use these maps would be to convert vectors from tangent to world space and vice versa using the pixel processor node. So that is going to cover the Baker updates in 5.4. We can transfer maps, bake position from high resolution meshes, as well as bake tangent and binormal vectors.